Clearly, as all of us are struggling to absorb the intensity, the barbarity, the sheer extent of what's going on, we're finding it very difficult even to find words to express how we feel, much less how we believe we can respond step after step moving forward. But I just want to share two vignettes that have helped just to focus on the enormity and the depth of what it is that we are confronting. The first, my wife and I saw on social media a post that came from somebody that we attended college with, we had Shabbat dinners with, and she wrote, my precious son is on kibbutz. I haven't heard from him. I don't know what's happening. And if you hear anything about my son Chaim, and she posted a picture, please call the following number. And then hours later, she posted again, and she said, we have discovered that my precious son Chaim has been murdered. And she wrote a little bit of a blurb about him, and my heart is broken, and more to follow. I was driving home from some event, and I had the news on, and there was an interview with a woman on a kibbutz in the south of Israel, and she spoke about being in a closet with children and with a man, and how the man actually saved their lives by taking the bullets himself. And she spoke about him, a professor of philosophy and a musician and somebody who advocated for peace in Israel in multiple venues. And the interviewer asked his name, and she said his name was Chaim. And I called Deanna and I said, is this the same Chaim? And she said, yes. That's one story. And there are multiple stories throughout Israel. Parents looking for children, parents who sadly, tragically know when their children met a tragic end. Grandchildren looking for grandparents. And we have been reading and we have been following in the enormity. Each human being is a soul. Each human being is a world. The enormity is beyond comprehension. And the second vignette is that I got a text from a friend of mine who is a professor, teaches law at a university. And he said he started his class by just saying, you know, things going on in Israel now, they're terrible, and I'm feeling emotional about it. And he teared up thinking about it. He has a lot of connections to Israel himself. And he said, if anybody wants to talk to me about this, please, you can come after class, you can say something now. He said that there was no response. And he said that afterwards, in fact, some students came to him and said it was inappropriate of you to raise this in this setting. And I share that because there is a great deal of complexity in terms of what's going on outside of certain communities like ours, in terms of what's going on university campuses, and that there is a battle that is not just for human life, but also for a rational understanding of what is happening here that is also being waged. And that also is huge and vast, and it demands our attention. So these are just two vignettes to show us how vast is the tragedy and how vast is the wider context that we are all handling as people who are supportive of Medinat Yisrael.